my channel, Life, Law, Bin. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am here with the Joel Manning. The Joel Manning. Joel, how you doing today?
I'm great. I don't know about the, but yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Well, thanks for coming. This one's gonna be a very light session, everybody. This one is just basically about making a move. You have actually decided to study overseas. You have decided to take the plunge from leaving home or a dare rock. I know it hurt me to my core. You have decided for some reason that you wanted to go beyond our shores and, I don't know, experience something new. So Joel, what would you think is the first thing you would tell people about making that move?
I would say the first thing, are we talking in terms of packing that suitcase or like actual, the first thing you gotta book your flight.
That's true.
You see flight prices? Whew. Picking the right flight. Timing your flight to get there at the right time, at the right cost is very, very, very important. So when I started out looking to go overseas, I was telling myself, well, hey, you know what? They can all be expensive. Let me just pick one and go. But then basically, as I started diving into the possibility of I need to take 2 flights to get where I'm going because I'm studying UK, up north, you know, how do I actually plan to make this actual move, you know? So from there I started to have to punch a lot of figures, do a lot of calculations based on layover times. Do I take a train for 4 hours? Do I take a bus for 7? You know, all that kind of stuff. So I think the first thing in making a move is to actually physically plan out all of the possible options of how do I get from Barbados to wherever I'm going.
But you know, it's interesting you said you study in the north because I found that for me, I had to figure that out too. So it's a flight from Barbados to London Gatwick, and then I am taking a bus from, I think, the National Express bus I take to get from Gatwick to Heathrow to take another flight from there to Newcastle. I also had another option of taking a train. But I died on that train.
I took the train.
Listen, everybody that I knew, well, strangers, because I knew no one, were just asking me if I need assistance. I was dying with my bags. It was embarrassing. Anybody that knows me knows that I like to help myself, and people were just trying to help me figure out where was going on the train because people think it's just a direct route. You have to get out, change train stations,
with
that
two
kind of thing. With 2
suitcases and a backpack, and
Yep. And it's not really good if you have a bad knee and a bad arm and all kind of thing. And people just staring at you like, okay, what's she doing? And fun fact, my suitcase wheel broke off smack in the middle of that journey. So there I was dragging with 3 out of 4 wheels. So people were staring at me. Picture this, the black girl basically walking through I was in the midst of obviously many other faces, and they're just staring like, is this girl dumb? Can she see that her suitcase, like, it practically the bottom is ripping out, you know? But I just used to be telling myself, wait for it, just wait for it. You're gonna see something is wrong here with the bottom when you see it. So I think that's an interesting point. What about packing now? We've got the flight sorted.
So we've got our flight started. We know what time we're getting there. We have it on a piece of paper printed out because you got to make sure you get everywhere at the time as well. If not, you get left. But in terms of packing now, make sure to pack your seasonings, your tea times, your soda bigs. Man, carry along some tuna, carry everything you accustomed eating in Barbados in that suitcase. Carry Mobby, carry cheese, carry cheese and more cheese. But true. Honestly, like the things you are accustomed eating, you are guaranteed that you will not find them anywhere near to you. And as such, to just give you that little piece of, you know, I am still home, you know, that home away from home, pack those things in your suitcase, especially given that when you get in those 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 hours later, you know, especially if you're going on a long distance, whether not the UK, China, Australia, you know, those long haul flights, when you get in, you do not want to go back out to actually get something to eat. So actually having something in your suitcase that you could just say, you know what, I am tired, this tuna here can work for now till I figure out my way. Because beyond that, more often than not, you get in at night as well.
It's true.
You know, and you don't want to start rambling around a strange place
Yeah.
with no data, in the middle of the night. See, data
It's true.
is crucially important at some point in time on your journey.
It's true. It's
But
true.
yeah.
And I find for me, I would carry along sweetbread, turnovers, everything just to, I would say, comfort food when I'm going on that journey. Another vital thing to carry too is medication.
For sure. I took literally all of my accustomed cold and flu pills overseas.
Yeah, you have to carry it. So everything you know, down from the sore throat to the cough, everything must go, because I find that we take for granted how easily we can get medication here in Barbados. You have to go through a longer process to get it, and more often than not, a lot of the places overseas don't like to, I guess, give any medication unless they think something is, very severe. So a minor cough, they will say, wait it out. And generally, I'm not accustomed to that. I pop a couple of Panadols and I feel better. I don't necessarily want to wait it out, So I think medication is a very, very important thing to put in the suitcase.
For sure, and especially considering the climates that you're going into. So for example, we went to the UK, whereby when you get there in September, temperatures are significantly lower than what you're accustomed to in Barbados.
Sure.
And it takes your body a little while to get accustomed to it, so you're very susceptible to getting sick very quickly. Because, for example, for me, within my first 2 weeks of being there, I started to feel like utter and complete crap.
Yeah.
So these are all different things that you need to consider depending on, where you're traveling to.
It's true. It's very true. And I would actually say too, when you have, so what we have done so far, people, we've planned the flight, we've packed our suitcases, and now we are actually there. And I would say that one of the first things you should start to do is start to sort out your banking information. Where will you bank? Because you're going to recognize straight away, I need to download Uber. I need to have some kind of mobile app on my phone. Where do I guess, which financial institution should I choose? So I chose Lloyd's Bank only because my bank here in Barbados Republic would have told me Lloyd's, they have a good relationship with them. So that was how I chose Lloyd's. What about you?
I chose Lloyd's as well, but only because that was the only bank I could have possibly banked with. Because I was not staying in the UK long enough. I need to be staying there for 2 years to bank with another bank.
Okay.
Yeah, so whereas Lloyd's told me I'm staying for one, that is no problem. So I was like, sweet, hey, that's my option.
Okay.
That's literally how it happened.
And
but
I found I had no problems.
Neither I still use the app in Barbados.
Yes, it's true. It's true. And I think those are things that people kind of forget about, that you need to start setting up your life in terms of banking and that kind of thing. I also had to register. Excuse me. I think there's the drink, the shandy. I also had to register with a GP in the UK. I'm not sure if it was different for you, but when I came in on the degree program in first year, we had to choose which practice and stuff we needed to register with. So I registered with Saville. So if you get ill, you have to report there and that kind of thing. Was that the same thing?
Nah, it was completely different for me actually. So basically how it went was that I got into my accommodation and they had up basically all of the medical facilities in the area. Funny enough, I was actually staying across from the hospital, from the NHS. Yes, I was direct, walk out my door,
There.
NHS clinic is there. So that was a good thing for me. But basically they just set up all the different numbers and we could have chosen any of those that were in the accommodation.
Okay, yeah. I think, the first year where I stayed, Castellizas, the hospital was opposite me. So I think that was ideal. So we've packed, we have our bank account set up and that kind of thing. What next? Would you say we start roaming the place now, that kind of thing?
Yes and no. Because you need to understand, first of all, where you are, whether or not it is safe to actually go certain areas and that kind of stuff. So, ask a couple questions in terms of the actual area that you are staying in. Can you walk certain roads? How late can you walk certain roads and that kind of stuff? But from the time you begin to actually go outside now, the next day, 2 days later, and you start to walk around, take note of your surroundings, what is actually near to you. Pull out your phone on the little Wi-Fi that you have in your accommodation, and if you just scan the map to see, what food places are near to you, and even beyond that, what supermarkets, because you need to eat.
It's true.
So then take your trip to the supermarket and then start to assess the actual prices, because that's something that's also going to be somewhat of a shock, because you're no longer shopping in 1-to-1, you're shopping in 1 to 2.4 or 1 to 2.7. you know, and everything in my mind converts.
It's true.
Literally.
Automatically. And then after a while, I actually had to tell myself it's dollar for dollar. No, because the conversion thing was just
It messes with your
strangling
head.
me.
It
You
does.
know, I'd
It
say to
does.
myself, why should I pay for cotton wool for this price when at home I wouldn't pay?
Literally.
You know?
There's some things, yeah. But sorting out that whole supermarket vibe and getting yourself into almost like a routine, a shopping routine in a way, because you want to be able to set yourself a budget very early, because you know, okay, this is what I'm gonna get from back home every single month. This is what I can, or rather, this is what I should now look to spend when I find out these prices every single month on my food. So that's something that you want to assess out within your first week, 2 weeks of being there, you know. Get that little shopping routine out of the way, so you know every single week I'm going to be spending, let's say, £14, and when I buy my meats I'm spending £22, you know.
It's
and
true.
you could then begin to actually get somewhat of a routine going for yourself from there.
And it's interesting we started talking about money and managing money, because one thing I recognized was that as soon as I set up my bank account and everything with Lloyd's, I was issued with a contactless payment card.
Ooh.
So you see that contactless payment card, I am tapping that everywhere. And
Literally.
before you know it, you've spent more than
yeah.
£40, £50. You have actually gone over your budget. And it's easy to do that when, you know, frequenting places like Nando's, guilty as charged, you know. So it's easy to do that. So I think we have to be kind of cognizant of the money and managing the money in order to, I guess, ensure that we don't go over budget.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
I think, Joel, that we've covered almost everything you need to basically know.
Yeah, because after that you just live.
Yeah, it's true.
Find at least one party spot.
For making the move. And no, you said find at least one party spot. I think we were dying. Well, I was dying by the time it was my 3rd year in Newcastle. So shout out to the team and I that came together.
Oh, that was an amazing party, yo.
We came up with that event, Soca
was-
versus Dance Hall.
That was vibes.
It was great. I would say, I mean, I'm biased, but I thought it was a great event.
I sweat, so it was good.
We went and we had a great time.
Definitely.
But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming, Joel. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank
I
you.
enjoyed the discussion. So thanks, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.